Pakistan's former ruler Pervez Musharraf has been charged with the murder of Benazir Bhutto, the opposition leader who twice served as Prime Minister, was assassinated in 2007.
A military guard for the former military dictator. Pervez Musharraf was in court for 20 minutes, long enough to hear the news. He's the first former Pakistan Army chief to be charged with a crime, and the charge is murder. Musharraf denies any involvement in the assassination of former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto. She was murdered on the campaign trail in 2007 in a gun and bomb attack. General Musharraf has always said he warned her of the danger she faced.
The important thing is this: you will have to prove the allegations with evidence, and still there is no evidence on record. So we can say the future of President Musharraf is quite clean, neat. These are all fabricated cases.
The former army commando took power in a coup in 1999. He ruled for almost a decade before stepping down in disgrace and leaving the country. Earlier this year, he returned to Pakistan, hoping to stand in the presidential election. That he now stands in a court has broken the taboo about legal action against the highest echelons of the military. General Musharraf was told his next appearance will be on August the 27th, where he will hear the evidence against him. Tim Marshall, Sky News.
Well, Pervez Musharraf could face the rest of his life in jail if convicted of the charges against him. It would be an extraordinary fall from grace for a man who ruled Pakistan for nearly a decade. But will it come to that? The military has always been the real power in Pakistan, and already there is speculation army bosses won't allow their former chief to be convicted. It all adds to the turmoil of a country locked in a tense standoff right now with bitter enemy India. Earlier I spoke to Pakistan analyst Dr. Ashutosh Misra from Griffith University. Ashutosh Misra, thank you very much for joining me on Newsnight. I want to ask you first of all about the Musharraf trial, now that he's indicted in the killing of Benazir Bhutto. How strong is that case?
The case is very strong, I would say, because there are very serious charges levied against General Musharraf. And this is just one of the charges that are in which he has been indicted today. Apart from that, apart from Benazir Bhutto's murder case, he is also implicated in the 2007 detention of the judge's case, and also he has been responsible for the death of the Baloch leader. So there are very serious charges levied against General Musharraf, and he knows this very well, and people know this very well. So there were people who are really wondering why did he return to Pakistan given the severity and seriousness of these charges. But he took his chances. The gamble didn't work, and on previous occasions I have said this, that because the Supreme Court is not going to take a very lenient view because of the history of the clash between General Musharraf and the judiciary. So it was something which was waiting to happen.
What is the potential sentence for him in this case? Could he face the death penalty?
I don't think he will be given a death penalty. So that much of concession will be given to General Musharraf, and also because of the pressure of the army, and also because of the pressure of the ISI. I don't think he will be handed over a death penalty, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is given a long-term imprisonment. But that is yet to come. Pakistan, as you know, it has been ruled for over 30 years, half of its existence by the military. And what kind of role will the military play when the time comes finally for General Musharraf to be handed over the sentence? At that time, it will be very critical to see how the military reacts. So far, military has been keeping quiet, but keeping a very close watch on General Musharraf's trial, and has been saying that they don't want Musharraf to be humiliated. So we'll have to wait and see when the actual time comes for General Musharraf's sentence to be handed over, what role military takes. Does it just whisk General Musharraf away from the country? So only time will tell. But we can hope this much, that the court are not going to let him go scot-free very easily.
Ashutosh, what impact will it have on the country in general? Because we know there have been attempts on Musharraf's life in the past, and that a lot of the insurgents groups would like to kill him. What impact do you think it will have? Will it create instability in the country?
I don't think so. Musharraf is a closed chapter for Pakistan. People have forgotten him because we must not forget that Musharraf has also been responsible for trampling democracy, overthrowing popularly elected civilian regime of Nawaz Sharif, and later on he had himself encouraged the Muttahida Majlis-e-Amal, the conglomeration of 6 Islamist parties in the 2002 elections. He himself had wooed the extremist groups in South Punjab to do the campaigning for him for his presidential referendum. So he had done all that. So he was seen as someone who had hurt the interests of democracy severely. So, and after his role was seen to be in Benazir Bhutto's assassination, and how the entire cover-up was taking place, washing down the whole incident area, and then all kind of lame excuses being given for a death. So people have not forgiven him, but at the same time they have forgotten him. So I don't think it is going to have any impact whatsoever on the Pakistan's future.
Ashutosh, let me look more broadly now at the Pakistan-India relationship, because once again it's been in the headlines. There's been more violence at the Kashmiri line of control. How tenuous are things right now?
I would say situation is pretty tense along the line of control. But I'll also say this is not the first time, Stan. We have seen India and Pakistan have fought 4 wars since their existence since 1947. And this is not the first time we have got such a flare-up and tension along the line of control between India and Pakistan. This is a regular routine which we have seen for many years. In fact, but there has been barely a patch during which we would have seen long-term tranquility along the line of control between India and Pakistan. So at the moment, this fight which is going on is something which has been happening for the last 30-40 years. So this is nothing new. But having said that, I will say the situation is very intense because of the backlash in New Delhi against what the militants and the Pakistani military has done since January. Over 7 soldiers have been killed, one of them was beheaded, and now again the infiltration had taken place, so 5 soldiers were killed. So now tempers are frayed. The opposition in Delhi is after the government's life. Public sentiments are highly enraged. So in that context, the military had to respond. So the Indian military at the moment, I was just watching last night, it's been responding with full severity, and they have got thermal images of how the Pakistan military is trying to push the militants in, and how they are, being given the instructions under the cover of darkness. So this is all going on, but at the moment now the Indian military has started to respond very heavily. So as a result, the situation on the border is very tense, but this is not the first time that we are seeing such a flare between India and Pakistan.
Just finally, do the 2 leaders here, Manmohan Singh and Nawaz Sharif, have the capacity to rise above the tension on the line of control to try to stabilize relations?
Of course he has. He has come with a heavy mandate, but Stan, we must also remember and question why is there such a flare-up suddenly occurring between India and Pakistan. For that you'll have to go back to history, and when I say history, you have to go back to 1997. In 1997, Nawaz Sharif was elected in Pakistan with a heavy mandate with 2/3 majority, and when he was elected, the first thing he did was that he had scrapped the 52B article in the Pakistani constitution, which gave Pakistani president the right to dissolve national and provincial assemblies at will. So he had scrapped it. Now that was the tool in the hand of the president which army always used to topple civilian regimes. So he did that, and after that we had seen the composite dialogue process was signed between India and Pakistan, as a part of which we had seen the peace process, a structured dialogue starting between India and Pakistan on 8 issues, including Jammu and Kashmir. And then we saw the Indian Prime Minister, Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, taking the peace bus to Pakistan, and then we saw the Lahore Declaration was signed. So that was a pretty encouraging phase between India and Pakistan, but that was something military was not appreciating and liking very much. And because of one blunder of Nawaz Sharif, when he sacked General Musharraf in absentia when he was on his way from Sri Lanka, the coup took place. So since then this is going on, and when again Mr. Sharif has come back to power after 14 years with such a massive majority, military wants to remind Mr. Sharif that who controls the foreign policy with regards to Kashmir in India. That is why we have seen the moment Musharraf, I beg your pardon, Mr. Nawaz Sharif has come to power, we have seen attacks taking place on the Indian consulate. In Kabul, we have seen flare up across the line of control. Military is simply telling Mr. Sharif, don't forget, it's us who pull the plug on peace process.
Fascinating, always fascinating to look at India, Pakistan, and within Pakistan itself, the military and the government. Ashutosh Misra, thank you very much for joining me.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me on the show, Stan.
We're coming up after the break.